You were taught that respect follows expression. Talk more, move more, fill space, prove your value with activity. You believed speed looks confident. You believed animation reads as friendly. You believed that if you keep energy high, people will feel you are important. That belief is convenient. It also keeps you invisible. High movement makes you easy to sort, easy to dismiss, easy to ignore. Here is the simple pattern you missed. People do not respect what needs to be noticed. People respect what does not chase attention yet holds it. In groups, the loud body is treated as entertainment. The still body is treated as reference. You do not need to like that. You only need to notice that your own eyes follow the same rule. Your attention gives deference to what is not trying. You trust what looks like it has time. You think stillness looks passive. That is the second error. Passivity is collapse. Stillness is control. Passivity surrenders agency. Stillness contains it. Passivity leaks anxiety through fidgets and rushed speech. Stillness reveals a closed loop. The nervous system is not being dragged by the room. The room starts to orbit the person whose output is quiet and precise. This is not a theory. It is what your biology does, whether you approve or not. The human threat system flags sudden or repetitive movement. The amygdala scans for motion as a survival task. That is why restless bodies do not calm a room. They activate the primitive parts of the audience and call for monitoring. Calm bodies remove load from the group. That is perceived as leadership because it changes state. Respect is often a simple reward for being the stabilizing point when others are unstable. You can see the same pattern in high-status mammals. The dominant individual uses less motion to get more done. Ethologists have documented it for decades. Efficiency of movement is a signal of rank, not because animals admire restraint, because restraint saves energy and reduces exposure. Those who can afford conservation usually sit higher in the order. Humans are not exempt. We read costly signals with the same old circuits. Restraint costs something. Effortless control costs something. People reverse engineer the cost and assign status. Marcus Aurelius was clear on this. Inner order creates outer authority. He wrote that a settled mind has weight, not because it talks about being settled, but because the posture and timing of the person reveal the work already done. Seneca warned about agitation. He called it a sign of slavery to external noise. The Stoics were not romantic about it. They treated stillness as an instrument. Remove the waste. Direct what remains. Modern psychology arrives at the same point through a different door. Thin slice research shows that people form competence and dominance judgments within seconds. They use motor economy, posture, and gaze stability as cues. Micro-expressions and fidgeting are read as leakage. Leaked energy implies internal conflict. The person with fewer leaks is judged more capable of absorbing pressure. That is who people respect under stress. Look at elite performers. The best chess players conserve motion between moves. They do not narrate their thinking with their hands. The best boxers look quiet between exchanges. They breathe, they wait, then they act. The best negotiators keep their baseline position still. They do not chase reactions. They let the silence do what words cannot. You think these are separate behaviors. They are the same discipline under different uniforms. Stillness that carries intent. The uncomfortable part is this. If you rely on motion to feel alive in a room, your nervous system is not under your authority. Your body is doing public relations for your insecurity. The more you move, the more you train others to make you move. They will interrupt you. They will speak over you. They will set your rhythm for you. You will work harder to keep up, and you will call it your style. It is not style. It is a self-soothing loop that ruins your frame. Here is the pivot that most avoid. Stillness is not a trick to look powerful. It is the visible result of deciding that nothing in this room can make you flinch without your consent. That decision shows up as minimal movement. The audience cannot hear the decision. They can only see the motor output. They assign respect to the output and invent reasons later. Machiavelli wrote that people judge more by eyes than by touch. Few look within, most read appearances. If you aim to be judged as steady, build appearances that the average eye can read in 1 second. You do not need to explain. You need to simplify your external signals until they match the story you claim to live by. If your body tells a different story than your words, the body wins. Every time. There is a reason stillness can feel uncomfortable at first. The orienting response in the brain wants to sample the environment with small movements. When you cut those samples, you force your attention to commit. That commitment feels like risk if you are used to scattering your focus. Over time, the baseline arousal drops. Vagal tone increases. Heart rate variability improves. Your face softens. Your body stops leaking nervous tells. People take that softness and that restraint as evidence of competence. Not because they studied autonomic physiology, but because your presence does not spin them up. Some will object. They will say that charisma drives respect, that the great leaders were animated. The record does not support the claim. The charismatic bodies you remember were not frantic. They were deliberate. Look at footage frame by frame. A pause before they spoke. A hand that lifted once, then rested. Eyes that fixed, then stayed. They used movement like punctuation, not like a flood. The baseline was still. The spikes were chosen. Minimal movement does something else that words cannot. It forces selection. In any room, attention is a limited resource. Movement competes for it and splits it. Stillness collects it and concentrates it. People do not look at the still person out of politeness. They look because their system wants a stable coordinate when the field is noisy. The quiet figure becomes the coordinate. Once you are the coordinate, you do not need to fight for respect. You become the place where it happens. This is why high-level operators often wait before they act, not to dramatize, but to extract signal. When you stop moving, you see more. You notice who cannot handle a pause. You notice who self-sabotages by filling space. You notice where the true pressure sits. Action then lands with accuracy. Others feel the difference without naming it. Respect follows accuracy over time. There is a trap here. People who hear about stillness make themselves rigid. They lock their jaw, they freeze their shoulders, they stare. That is not stillness. That is a threat cue. It triggers the same circuits that a predator triggers. You will not get respect. You will get fear, which flips to hostility. Authentic stillness has breath in it. The gaze is present, not fixed to a point. The spine is aligned, not stiff. Muscles are awake, but not clenched. The face is neutral, not dead. The difference is subtle, but anyone can feel it from across a room. The mind behind authentic stillness is not trying to win the room. It is trying to own itself. That is why it scales. The person who can stay quiet when they are interrupted, who can hold a neutral expression while being praised, who can keep their hands where they planned to keep them when others start to fidget, builds a reputation for internal control. Control attracts respect because most people lack it and resent that lack. They either lean toward the person who has it, or they work to break it. Either way, the still person sets the terms. This is not positivity. It is selective. There are rooms where stillness will be punished. Some environments run on chaos. If you show control, they will try to shake you because your presence exposes the game. That does not invalidate the principle. It confirms it. When stillness is attacked, it is because it threatens the hierarchy that relies on constant motion. Choose your rooms. Bring stillness where power is real, not where noise is the only currency. In professional settings, the person who anchors the meeting is rarely the loudest. They are the one who does not get pulled by side comments. They do not signal impatience by tapping. They do not adjust their chair every minute. They do not laugh to prove alignment. They signal value by conserving their motion and spending it with care. People ask them for a view because they have not been throwing their attention away. They can afford to see clearly. In conflict, the person who stays still is often the one who wins the timeline. Anger looks for a dance partner. If you offer a calm body, the timeline stretches. Time advantage is influence. The other side either escalates and loses face, or they come down to your pace. That shift is not mystical. It is mechanical. The mirror systems in the brain pull toward the dominant rhythm in the room. If your body is settled, your rhythm becomes the anchor. In public speaking, camera work, or even casual presence in a doorway, stillness reads clean. The viewer is not working to decode what matters because you're not sending 50 signals per minute. This is perceptual fluency. Information that is easy to process gets judged as more true and more expert. A still body with precise movement increases fluency. The audience feels less cognitive load. They like that feeling. They reward the source of it. You may wonder how to acquire this without becoming wooden. The honest answer is that you remove what is not needed before you add anything new. Remove the compulsion to fill gaps. Remove the micro gestures that come from seeking approval. Remove the urge to narrate your thoughts with your face. You will find that what remains is already persuasive. You are not adding charisma. You are taking off noise. Respect is fundamentally an energy judgment. People ask, can this person hold weight? Can they carry pressure without blowing it back on me? Movement is a public record of how you carry weight. Leaked energy during small moments warns others that you will leak under real stress. They do not respect what they do not trust under pressure. You can talk about values all day. The nervous system makes its call based on what you do when nothing special is happening. None of this means you avoid expression. You use it like a measured tool. When a still person finally moves, that move lands. When a still person finally speaks, the words cut. Not because the content is magical, because the contrast is clean. The room noticed that you were not expending energy for nothing. They decide that when you do, it matters. You will feel this shift when people start matching your pace without knowing why. They will ask shorter questions. They will answer you with more care. They will mirror your posture. Those are all small signs that your stillness has started to set the climate. The counterpoint is always the same. What about warmth? What about connection? You do not lose either. You make both deliberate. Warmth without control is cheap. It looks like a performance. Control without warmth is brittle. It invites rebellion. The winning posture is calm baseline, then specific signals of approachability layered on top. A soft eye when someone reveals something true. A brief nod when you want to show understanding. Then nothing extra. The person feels seen without being engulfed. They respect the boundary because you respect it first. There is also a private benefit that matters more than any external response. Stillness produces self-trust. Each minute you keep your body from chasing stimulus, you train your brain that you're the one giving the orders. That feedback loop rewires your sense of agency. It is hard to rattle someone who is used to not taking orders from their own impulses. That is the final source of the respect you want. People respect those who do not betray themselves every time the environment flickers. If this sounds simple, remember why most fail. They cannot tolerate the withdrawal symptoms of their own habits. The hand wants to touch the phone. The leg wants to bounce. The mouth wants to fill the quiet. They break within seconds and call it personality. The truth is colder. They are not free. Their body is telling the room that someone else is in charge, that someone else is their untrained nervous system. No one respects a captured asset. The elite do not advertise this openly. They prefer that others keep signaling low status with constant motion. It helps them conserve energy while maintaining leverage. It keeps the field clear. If you learn this, you stop competing on the same axis as the crowd. You will look boring to the noisy. You will look dangerous to the observant. Both reactions help you. Boring removes superficial threats. Dangerous prevents casual disrespect. You do not need to announce that you are adopting stillness. You do not need to warn people that you are changing. You simply begin to remove what made you easy to move. Over the next days, your environment will test the change. Some will push harder. Some will adjust. Watch who does which. Those who cannot tolerate your control are telling you who they are. Those who relax into it are allies. Respect travels both ways when it is real. The pressure you feel right now is useful. If your first instinct is to justify why your movement is necessary, you have found a lever. If your first reaction is anger, you have found an attachment. If your first thought is that stillness will make you invisible, you have revealed how you have been trying to be seen. None of these are defects. They are data. You can use them to choose a different gravity for your life. Here's the harsh filter. Most will hear this and do nothing. They will keep filling space because silence exposes what they have been avoiding. They will keep moving because stillness reveals the truth they tried to outrun. A small fraction will try, fail, then blame the idea. A smaller fraction will feel the discomfort, then continue. They will notice that people begin to correct themselves mid-sentence around them. They will notice that interruptions fade. They will notice that their words start to carry weight they did not have before. They will know why. If you want to be in that fraction, claim it with behavior, not promises. If you would rather stay where you are, you can. The world is built for motion addicts. There is always another feed, another meeting, another vent, another chance to leak energy and call it a work ethic. No one will stop you. Respect will not either. It will keep its distance and wait for the rare person who understands what it costs and what it pays. You now see what most people never see. Movement is cheap. Stillness is costly. The cost buys control. Control invites respect. If you're ready to join the class of people who choose the costly path, stay close. This channel is not for those who need constant novelty. It is for the few who can sit with tension without reaching for a toy. If you can hold that line, the next layer is available to you. If you cannot, you are not ready. The door closes itself. Choose what you will be identified with: frenzy or presence, noise or weight. The room already sorts people by these categories. Decide which side serve you, then make your body tell the truth. Those who can read it will recognize you. Those who cannot do not matter.